Hello, moviegoers! Welcome to another episode of CritiCarter, the show where I turn you into a cinephile. I just got back from a screening of the new film, Total Recall, directed by Len Wiseman, co-written by Kurt Wimmer and Mark Baumbach, and starring Colin Farrell, Kate Beckinsale, and Jessica Biel. I absolutely hated this movie from the very first sequence. The first 5 minutes or so just plunges you straight into this action sequence, no idea what's going on, and on top of all that, awful strobe in your face. Just horrible to watch. I almost walked out right then and there. But I knew that you guys would probably be disappointed if I walked out that quickly after I walked out on my movie last week too. So I stuck it out. And things only got worse. This version, Total Recall, takes place on Earth, which does differentiate it from the Mars elements of the 1990 film, which, let me just say right now, never seen it. I know very little about it, aside from Mars is involved, and Arnold Schwarzenegger plays the lead role. In this version of Total Recall, Doug Wade, an assembly line worker, goes to the mysterious recall in an attempt to have memories more interesting than his own. However, before he begins the process, the cops bust in on him, and somehow he's able to take them all out. He then sets out on a journey to find out how he can do the things that he does, and how he got to be that way. The movie takes place in the very near future, when all of the inhabitable area of Earth is limited to the United Federation of Britain and the Colony, which is Australia. And there's a few problems, starting with the fact that about half the people in this movie have British accents, and the other half don't, for whatever strange reason. Everybody either sounds American or British, and it doesn't seem like anyone really cares who's who. It's all very strange. On top of any little quibbles like that I have, or the fact that a normal form of transportation in this movie is, they refer to it as the Fall, and it goes from the colony, Australia, to the United Federation of Britain. And it takes the quickest route to get there, which would be through the center of the Earth. Now, I know it's a sci-fi movie at its core, but I really don't think we're going to be getting through the center of the Earth without dying horrible fiery deaths anytime soon. The film also puts a big emphasis on the synthetic, meaning robot, police force, but there's also quite a few humans that seem to be involved, for really no explained reason whatsoever. The aesthetics of the film seem to be completely ripped off from Blade Runner, just without the blue filter that is on that movie. And the film just goes non-stop, one action set piece after another, except for a scene when our protagonist decides he has to play the piano. I'm not kidding. Colin Farrell's character spends this entire film on the run from the cops, essentially, and just at one point stops, goes back to his apartment to play the piano, which, until this scene, we were led to believe he didn't actually know how to play. And like most unfortunate films that come out over the summer, rife with plot holes and cheesy dialogue. And to top it all off, this film that allegedly takes place in the future, we're still having fights with knives and using needles to inject things into our own bodies. Just not even gonna try, are you? I also don't have any words for the MPAA, which somehow lets this movie go by with a PG-13, despite the fact it contains both a topless woman and a use of the F-word. I don't know if we're just just having wild parties out there, or watching the movie at all that we're supposed to be rating, but I'm really surprised. That's all. So between wanting to walk out halfway through myself, and the fact that despite the just non-stop, confusing, pointless action, my girlfriend managed to fall asleep multiple times in this film. The 2012 version of Total Recall, which has even less to do with We Can Remember It For You Wholesale, the Philip K. Dick story upon which both films were based, than the original did. The 2012 version gets a 1 out of 5 confused Colin Farrells. And believe me, right now, I would like nothing more than to have a memory of the past 3 hours that did not include this film. You can check out my review from last week of The Watch up over there, and next week, so I know you all hate me for it, next week I'm going to go see Hope Springs, because I would rather watch a movie with Meryl Streep and Tommy Lee Jones than Will Ferrell and Zach Galifianakis. And that review is going up over there. Remember, like and favorite the video if you enjoyed watching it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and as always, links in the description where you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr. I really, really hated Total Recall. I can't stress that enough. Fade to black.